Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching J Entertainment, myself, and this is why it all depends on Fast and Furious 9 box office. So, now that quarantines are lifting and we're starting to get to a new normal, it is time that we see what the new normal for the box office is. Well, I think that Fast and Furious 9 is key and perhaps the most important movie post quarantine. Why? Well, there is a bunch of reasons, but for this video, I'm going to be looking at the main three reasons. On why it all depends on Fast and Furious 9's box office. Reason number one is that this is the first big blockbuster from a giant billion-dollar franchise to come out exclusively on theaters, without any streaming component. This is hugely important because this will truly show how many people are willing to come back to theaters to see one of their favorite franchises, at least one of the biggest franchises. This will at least give an idea on what the state of movie theaters are really, since the only option for this movie is to go see it in the movie theater. And like I said, this franchise has been consistent. It has made billion dollars consistently. So clearly it shows that a bunch of people are interested in this franchise, and we will see it compared to the other movies how well it will do this time that we're post quarantine ish, and it will really see how many people are willing to come back to theaters and truly set the bar for the rest of the blockbusters, because from now on the rest of the blockbusters for probably the rest of the year will be measured by how well Fast and Furious did. Fast and Furious will probably be the measurement to all those other blockbusters like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, and Space Jam, and all those movies. So I think this movie is hugely important to testing the waters to start things off, because it is the first exclusive big blockbuster billion-dollar to come out on theaters exclusively, whereas the other movies like Black Widow, Space Jam 2, Jungle Cruise, they will have a streaming component, which for Black Widow is 16 plus, for Jungle Cruise is 16 plus, and for Space Jam 2 is HBO Max. So I am very curious to see how this movie will do without any streaming component. I'm really curious to see how many people are willing to come back, and this was a perfect test to see the audience that there is to come back to movie theaters exclusively. Okay, reason number two. This will also let movie theaters that perhaps are struggling during these times and that they barely have earned money because they haven't been huge movies as of lately, come back and get a bunch of money. Probably the most money that they're gonna get since the whole entire pandemic started. Why? Well, this is probably gonna be the biggest movie domestically. I'm talking domestic, by the way. This is probably gonna be the biggest domestic movie of the since the pandemic started, because so far the biggest one is Godzilla vs Kong, which is a $95 million, somewhere around that, and it's consistently proven that Fast and the Furious is a way bigger franchise than the Godzilla and the Kong movies. So this is by far going to probably be the biggest movie, especially since it's only on theaters. So it's by far going to get a lot more money than Godzilla vs Kong, and it's easily going to be the one that gives the theaters the most money. So hopefully this gets theaters back in shape, and it gets more people working in theaters, and it causes a chain reaction on all movie theater chains. That way they reopen faster also, because some of them haven't officially reopened, at least not all the way. So hopefully this causes a vote of confidence to reopen other movie theaters, which will really help the movie theater industry as a whole. Reason number three. This will influence decision making on studios to see what they will do with their own blockbusters. They will see if they should make them exclusive to theaters, or they should have a streaming component while they release them to theaters, or they should just delay the movie for theaters to be on better times. This could mean huge things, because it could really mean the comeback of theaters, or it could just mean that theaters are honestly just not ready yet, and studios make plans with their own blockbusters that will kind of take away from theaters, like streaming or delaying the movie in general. So to just name a few movies that could be affected by Fast and the Furious is Venom: Let There Be Carnage, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Dune, which is apparently still in the air, or some movie plan changes could be changed like Shang-Chi and Free Guy. So there really is a lot of on stake from this movie, because if this movie does really bad, then no studio will want to release their movie exclusively on theaters. They will be like, okay, these aren't ready yet, so it's either we're gonna delay it more so that we can get the profit from theaters, or we're gonna add a streaming component like Disney Plus has with Premium Access. Obviously, the Warner Brother movies, all of them are gonna come on HBO Max, but that's only Warner Brother movies. There's a bunch of other movies that aren't Warner Brothers, including uh, Disney movies. So clearly, this is gonna influence a huge part of those movies. Like I already mentioned, Venom: Let There Be Carnage is one of them, which is I know has a huge hype, and Spider-Man 3, which is also hugely hyped. So these movies could honestly, if the movie theaters aren't ready, they could honestly get delayed, or they could honestly get a streaming component, which would be crazy. Imagine seeing Spider-Man No Way Home on your house on your TV. That would be crazy. Or imagine having to delay it because movie theaters aren't just ready. So this movie really has a lot at stake. Like I said, if it fails, movie studios are just gonna switch the movies, or just gonna switch the release from just being exclusively on theaters, which is not good for theaters. But obviously movie studios don't want to lose the money either. So it's like, but if this movie does great, then movies are not gonna, they get delayed. They're gonna, and maybe they'll get pushed forward, and they'll just keep coming out, keep them exclusive theaters, and it'll be like the movie theaters came back. So this could be in the comeback of theaters or not yet. So we'll see. Hopefully this movie does good, because I think everybody wants just to see the comeback of movie theaters. As you can see, there really is a lot of writing on this movie, from bringing back to movie theaters and seeing how much audience there is to just exclusively theaters, to helping cinema stay on good financials and a good financial state, and helping them reopen other places that they haven't reopened, like theater chains that haven't reopened all of them, at least some of them. So it would help box office overall if they do reopen everything, and it would also help their quality go up again, because and help more people get work, because of course they will be on a better financial state. To seeing what movie releases get, what the new blockbusters will look like on release, like either streaming, delayed, or coming out exclusively on theaters if this movie really does good. So we'll see. There really is a lot of writing on it. So this shows why it really all depends on Fast and the Furious 9's box office. Please, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It would really help. Subscribe for more content like this. I just recently made a playlist called J-Agent Analysis, where I analyze movie decisions, like business decisions for movies or TV shows or whatever. Some of these examples are: should Venom: Let There Be Carnage be rated R? What does Discovery and Warner Media merger mean for Restore the Snyderverse? And did Disney make the right decisions with Jungle Cruise and Shang-Chi? So please, if you're interested, go check it out. The playlist link will either be on this corner or on this corner. So yeah, please go check them out, or I will leave it in the description down below. As well as lastly, leave your comments on how good you think this movie will do, and or if you're waiting for it to do good, as well as are you gonna go see it on theaters, and how you've been anticipating this movie since like the first trailer, or are you just gonna support it because you're like, oh, I just want to support the movie theaters in general. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great rest of your day. And this is J Entertainment out.